I'm really grateful to be here. I'm back in LA. I was there yesterday at the end of a 3-week vacation with the family through Europe, which was at times intense. But London was fantastic, and seeing all you guys in person was fantastic. So the reason I'm here today is because I have alcoholism. And somewhere in the book it says that this whole discussion that we're going to have today would be academic if I never take the first drink. Because the problem of alcoholism centers in my mind, not in my body. And, I've been to a lot of meetings, and at most meetings, people talk about the problems they're having in their lives and what's going wrong and how terrible it is, or how terrible it was, and they talk about how great it is now, but not really how or why, not really why it's so terrible or how it got better. And this meeting is called Principles and Application because, like it was read in the opening to the meeting, that Alcoholics Anonymous's 12 steps are a group of principles, spiritual in their nature, which if practiced as a way of life can expel the obsession to drink and enable me to become happily and usefully whole. So I have a disease that centers in my mind. Alcoholics Anonymous is a way of life where I'm living by spiritual principles that come out of the application of the 12 steps so that I can be happily and usefully whole. Because when I am not drinking, I am not happily and usefully whole by magic. So what I'm saying is that not drinking today does not make me happily and usefully whole. It actually makes me restless, irritable, and discontent because I have a disease that centers in my mind. There's something wrong with my mind. And what's wrong with my mind is that my mind is unsatisfiable. My mind is fault-finding. It's completely opinionated. And whatever those opinions are, they speak to me in my own voice, like Karen said, not Karen, hi Karen, like Susie said at Pont Street the other night, so eloquently, that it speaks to me in my own voice. And so whatever it tells me in my own voice, I believe that to be true because I think I said it. And I don't think I made it up. I just think that that is the truth. It must be the truth because I said it. Now, you might say something, and whatever you say, no matter what it is, whatever you say, it goes into my mind and I judge it. And I say, yes, that's true, or no, that's false, or you're crazy and I don't want to talk to you anymore. But something happens, right? Everything that you say goes through some kind of a filter and I decide if it's true or false. But everything I say, I just assume that it's true. So, and I have a disease that can't differentiate the true from the false. So this is what I'm up against with alcoholism. The reason that I drink isn't because I need alcohol, except for to the extent that my mind is so painful to me. Living in this world is so painful on a daily basis with what's going on in my life and the way my mind talks to me about everything that's going on in my life, that I need something to treat the disease. And the most readily, easily available over-the-counter drug that treats what's wrong with me is called alcohol. And so it's so weird that this disease is named after the treatment of it. They don't call diabetes insulinism. But for some reason they call alcohol they call grave emotional and mental disorders alcoholism. If they told me I had grave emotional and mental disorders, and because of that I drink too much alcohol, I take too much alcohol medicine, that would make sense. And then I could come into AA And I could start treating the disease, because what's wrong with me is I have grave emotional and mental disorders. They hid it in how it works. It says there are those too who have grave emotional and mental disorders, because if you tell an alcoholic that they have grave emotional and mental disorders when they come in, they'll say, no way, I just drink too much and I have a lot of problems because I drink too much. And my life is unmanageable around alcohol because I can't manage my alcohol. But none of that's true. I can't manage my alcohol anymore because I have an allergy to it. And once I drink it, the allergy kicks in and I do whatever my mind tells me to treat that allergy, to make that allergy, to treat the allergy. But the reason I drink isn't because of alcohol. The reason I drink is because my mind is so negative and fault-finding and opinionated, and I'm always in a hurry, and I'm easily frustrated. And I believe that I'm the center of the universe, that I'm the king, and that everyone is here, all of you are here to please me and to make sure that I'm satisfied. The stewardess on the plane yesterday, she said to me at one point, man, you drink a lot of tea. But what she was saying, what she was really saying is, get up and get your own damn tea. She was tired of waiting on me. So the problem with the center of the universe and me being the king thing, especially around other alcoholics, is that everyone in the room thinks they're the king. Everyone in the room thinks that the temperature should be just right for them, the way they like it. And the seats that they get should be the seat that they want, because that's where they want to sit. And the tea should be just the way they want it. And everything should be exactly the way you want it. And I want it exactly the way I want it. And then if we both want the same seat, well, now somebody has to die. So it's not just, I want your seat, would you mind if I take it? It's, I need your seat, and if I can't have your seat, I'm going to sit in the meeting, the entire meeting, thinking about ways that I could kill you because you're sitting in the seat that I wanted for the meeting. Now, I might have driven all the way across London to get to that meeting so I could find some peace from my mind, but then I get there and my mind tells me I got the wrong seat and you got my seat, and then I spend the entire meeting talking to myself about why I got the wrong seat and what a loser I am and how mean you are and how I need to take care of you and I'll get you next time, and planning how I'm going to come in early next time and get the seat I want, and talking to myself in my own voice about how terrible my life is because you sat in my seat at a meeting. Isn't that crazy? And it's not just a seat, it's everything. I talk to myself about everything. I talk to myself about where I live all day long, where I live. It's not good enough, it's not big enough, it's too big, it's too good, I'm embarrassed. It doesn't even matter. See, it doesn't matter if I take the good side or the bad side, because my mind obsesses about everything. Because I have a mental obsession, and my mind obsesses about everything and I go crazy. So I'm just describing the disease, because to come to a meeting and tell you that the stewardess on the plane didn't treat me right, well, that's true, but that's not really true. She treated me really right the first 3 times I asked for tea. The 4th time she was a little put off by it. And, I didn't like that. And she said it out loud. And she said it in front of other passengers. And none of that was good for me. That made me mad. Nothing really happened on that plane. I mean, I heard her say that and I realized, oh, wow, I am drinking a lot of tea. And it was a total non-event. But I saw my first reaction when she said, you've asked for, you drink a lot of tea. My first reaction was, oh, how dare you? And then a character's being built here, and then the new character said, really, you might be drinking a lot of tea on this plane. Maybe she has, 300, it was a full plane, 320 other people that if they all wanted as much tea as I wanted, she'd never get to sit down. And there would be pandemonium. Everyone would be wired out of their minds. So that's the disease. That's the problem. That's why I come to Alcoholics Anonymous. I'm not here to not drink. I can never ever drink alcohol again. But I need a way of life where drinking isn't necessary, so I could be on that plane for 11 and a half hours and be at peace, no matter what's going on. They changed our seats. The airline changed our seats, and then they said to me when I got there, well, there's no seat guarantees. It's just a suggested seat, and we needed to move you. I'm like, no, that's my seat. I put my name on it 2 months ago. It's mine. But I ended up with a fine seat, and we all got here safe. So that's the disease. That's what's wrong with me. I have alcoholism. I have to admit complete defeat. And it's complete, and it's not alcohol defeat. It's complete defeat. It's that I can't sit on a plane and order tea and be okay and be at peace for 11 and a half hours. I've got to find fault and complain and be miserable. And I can't even come to a meeting and pick a seat and be okay. I remember Matthew, I haven't seen Matthew for a while, but Matthew said he went to a meeting one day and he saw a guy that he resented there. He had a resentment against this guy. And so he went and he thought, oh, I know what I'll do. I'll sit behind him just to bother him the whole meeting. So he went and he sat behind the guy. And he didn't hear one word that was said at the meeting because he was talking to himself the whole time about how he was bothering that guy in front of him. Isn't that amazing? That's alcoholism. That's a warped mind, right? That's grave emotional and mental disorders. I'm at a meeting to get a treatment for my mind, and I sit behind the guy that drives me crazy so I can be crazy the whole meeting and not hear a word. So there's something to do. There's something to do right now in this moment, right now. I need a treatment for my disease. I need a way of life where drinking isn't necessary. And so I walk into that first step and I can start to admit complete defeat. I don't know how to travel. I don't know how to sit on a plane. I don't know how to be a good passenger. I don't know how to unpack my bags peacefully. I don't know how to be nice to my wife after 3 weeks on vacation with her every day, 24 hours a day. So I have to admit that. I have to admit it. And then I have to accept that I have a devastating weakness and all of its consequences. So I've described the devastating weakness, and all of its consequences is that I can't form a true partnership with another human being. I'm always in collision with everyone around me when I'm in the disease. And not drinking today doesn't treat the disease. It's good. I can never ever drink alcohol again. But not drinking doesn't make me nice and doesn't make me friendly and doesn't make me like everything. It just makes me more mean and more ornery and more in my head because I don't have the medicine that used to heal me, that used to make it all okay. And so I have to see that. I have to admit complete defeat. And the end of that first step says that I stand ready. Something happens. I see who I am. Some rigorous self-honesty in that first step. I see who I am a little bit around alcohol and not drinking alcohol. And then I get to the place where I'm in so much pain that I stand ready to do anything which will lift my merciless obsession. And the anything I have to do is I have to know that I'm the wrong power for my life. And when I stand ready to do anything, then maybe my mind will crack open for a moment so that I could start right now in this moment coming to believe that there's a power and that power is greater than me and that power is the thing that could restore me to sanity. See, all that self-talking, all that trying to figure out what's right and what's wrong and who's screwing me over and why and how screwed I am and how nothing ever works out for me and how I'm the world's biggest loser. All that self-talking is me trying to restore myself to sanity. But I can't do it. If I could, I wouldn't be in AA. I'd be sane. I'd be restored to sanity. But because I have grave emotional and mental disorders, they didn't call it grave emotional and mental disorders because nobody would ask for the meetings. Can you imagine walking up to a church and saying, hey, can you tell me where the room is for the grave emotional and mental disorders meetings? But that is what's wrong with me. When I look at my life, that's what I see. I have the total inability to have a true partnership with another human being. That's a line from the book, but it's my experience. I see it at work. I'm always either trying to crush you because you're under me, or crush you because you're on above me. And I know that I'm supposed to be the CEO of this business, and I know that I'm just a little bit smarter than everybody else at the company while I'm working there. And I also know that I'm underappreciated and underpaid every single day of my life with alcoholism. So I have to have something different for my life. I have to have, all of this is old character. All of this is alcoholism. I have to build a new character, or a new character needs to be built. And the new character can admit complete defeat. And the new character can back down a little bit. And the new character can start right now in this moment coming to believe that there is a power, and that power is greater than me, and that power is the thing that's going to restore me to sanity, not me. I don't have to talk to myself anymore. So what am I going to do? So the way that I come to believe anything is by searching and researching again and again. Just like it says in the second step, I'm going to start right now searching and researching again and again. So when my mind starts making me crazy, I'm going to start talking to this power. That's the thing that is supposed to restore me to sanity. I'm going to start rightly relating my life to this power. God, could you help me be a good passenger? Could you help me be right here, right now? Could you help me stop finding fault with everything? Could you help me be the man that you want me to be, or the woman that you want me to be today, right now? Could you be with me? And something happens. During this research period, something happens. Either I get restored to sanity and I have a little peace of mind, or I don't. But I find that whenever I take step one, whenever I've admitted complete defeat, and I'm no longer trying to get what I want and make it work out the way I want it to, and now I'm asking God to show me something new, or a higher power to show me something new happens. And I get some peace right now in this moment. I call that peace, soundness of mind, serenity, sanity. Right now in this moment, I could have a moment of sanity. Why go to a meeting and sit in a meeting and talk to myself the whole time about the stuff I talk to myself about all day that makes me crazy anyway, and leave the meeting the same man I was that I walked in, sometimes worse, depending on the speaker. If I don't like the speaker, oh my God, I walk out of that meeting complaining and telling everybody what a terrible meeting that was, and going deeper into the disease. But really, it doesn't matter what's being said in the meeting, because what's being said can't heal me. The only thing that can heal me is a relationship with that power right now. And every AA meeting, it's in the book, it's at the end of the second step, it says every AA meeting is an assurance that God, every true humility and an open mind can lead me to faith. True humility and an open mind. An open mind is a mind free of self, no preconceived ideas. No opinions. Can you imagine having that even for like a second? No preconceived ideas, an open mind. And the humility to know that there's something wrong with me. And that I need help right now in this moment, because it's right now and I'm alive right now. True humility and an open mind can lead me to faith. If I could have those two things, true humility and an open mind, something new could happen in my life. And if something new happens in my life, that's how I'm led to faith. It doesn't happen because I said, well, I'm willing to believe that Jesus is the Lord and Savior. That doesn't lead me to faith. That just leads me to something that I believe, but it's not faith. Faith is something that I can trust and rely on. Faith is something that's real for me because I have an experience with it. It's not some words. It's not words from a Bible or from a book. I'm not knocking the Bible. The Bible's awesome. But Faith is not something you learn in Sunday school. It's something you learn out on the streets, practicing the presence of a higher power with an open mind and true humility. Okay, so I'll read the whole sentence once. True humility and an open mind can lead me to faith. And every AA meeting is an assurance that God will restore me to sanity if I rightly relate myself to Him. If I do it. See, if I come to a meeting and I hear a great speaker, that's not going to restore me to sanity. It might make me feel okay for a minute, but it doesn't restore me to sanity. What restores me to sanity is me rightly relating myself to God in this moment. Could you help me hear what's being said? Could you show me why I'm here today? That's me rightly relating myself to God. Sharing my life with God. Every AA meeting is an assurance that God will. It doesn't even say can, it says will. He will. It will, right now, in this moment, restore me to sanity if I rightly relate myself to Him. So that's what this meeting's about. This meeting's about exposing the disease of alcoholism in the day that I'm in, my warped mind, my alcoholism thinking, my unsatisfiable, fault-finding, opinionated, judgmental mind that talks to me in my own voice, and exposing that in the day that I am in, and then talking about what I'm doing today to treat it, and what's happening if it's treated, or what I'm not doing today to treat it, and what happens when I don't treat it. Because that's something we can all relate to and grow from. This is not about talking about alcohol, or how much you drank, or how much money you have in the bank, or don't have in the bank, or what kind of job you have or don't have, or how badly your mother-in-law acts or doesn't act. It's not about that. It's about what happens to my mind when I get around my mother-in-law, no matter how she acts. And then what I do to treat that disease when I get around her. And so that's what I got for today. I thank you so much for letting me be back in London vicariously, day one. And I miss you guys already. And I can't wait to hear from you about what you're doing today to treat your disease or not. Thank you for letting me share.